Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday. I am Margot Alvarez. So if you're new to my channel, we're gonna be going over a tutorial today. We are covering the glute bridge. We're gonna be doing it with the barbell. I'll be showing the option on or off the bench. We will also be covering the dumbbell. You can't see the dumbbell. But thank you guys for joining in. We're gonna be going over the glute bridge, like I said. I'm gonna first demonstrate the movement from the floor, and then we'll add the bench in to see a couple different options. Now, if you're looking to get stronger glutes, stronger posterior chain is the backside of your body, so hamstrings, glutes, spinal erectors, obviously your lats, and include that as well, but today we're focusing on the lower body a little bit more specifically. So if you guys are following on watching, I'm gonna try to do this at an angle so you can see, but I typically will get set up with a 45 or some sort of load to put the bar up and it's elevated. I will pull myself underneath, and as I get set up underneath, I wanna make sure the hip crease is where the bar is coming. So if I just lift my hips up slightly, that hip crease and where the leg meets the torso, that is where the bar is gonna reside. Now, if you have a barbell and it digs into the hips and it's very tender, you can roll up a yoga mat, put it underneath, or if you had some sort of pad, like a handstand push-up pad, that can go underneath, that's flexible, dynamic, you can put that underneath there as well. So again, depending on space here, I'm gonna show you guys. Setup position for the glute bridge. If I'm on the floor, feet are gonna be parallel to one another, think hip width distance. I'm laying down on the ground, hands are right outside my hips. I like to use the knurling and the smooth part where that meets as the guide. Thumbs on top, I have a preference here. I like to pull my shoulder blades back, have my triceps resting on the floor. From here, my feet are creating like a triangle with my knee and my hip. So as I press my feet into the floor and squeeze my glutes and lift my hips, I want to be elevating my hips up as high as I can. Hold for a second, squeeze the butt cheeks, then come down. Obviously, you want to make sure timing frame wise, the plates come down at the same time to make sure it's even. So I squeeze my butt, lift my hips, hold, come back down. Now, obviously, as I do this, once I release my hips from the bar, there's a small, maybe inch, half an inch where my hips are going to go back down. I personally go all the way down to the floor, then I lift my hips to the bar, squeeze the butt, come back down, reset, and go again, just so I can get that range of motion. Now, I will add load. I typically go, what I've done recently in this past week or so, I've done about 315, 305 on the barbell. I'm going very heavy to strengthen my posterior chain. If you're new to this movement or you're just trying this movement in, I would recommend starting a little bit lighter to find out where you're at. Now, if you guys like movements like this and you want to follow a program that's going to help you get stronger, I have my Strength and Tone program that's in my app. You can click the link below and I will virtually coach you through all movements and give you a program that will get you in and out of the gym in 45 minutes or less. It'll help you get stronger, lose fat, has functional bodybuilding-esque component as well as a high-intensity component that will help you lose fat and build muscle. So again, check that out. Let's move along to the next component. So this is going to be the glute bridge, weighted glute bridge, or hip thrust off of the bench. Now, what I typically like to do is I'll get set up with the barbell. So I'll pull myself underneath. I'll roll the barbell to my hip, crease specifically. I'll adjust the bar if need be. Once I get up, I'll kind of bring my knees up, lift my hips or heels slightly up, so I have an idea of where it's going to rest. From here, I'll use my elbows and forearms. I'm going to prop myself up on the bench. Now, I may need to readjust if this isn't even, like I've had to do right now. So on this bench, I'm having my shoulder blades mid-back resting in this bench. From here, my feet are hip width distance apart. Hopefully you guys can see that in the video. Depending on how far away your feet are, that's going to change a little bit of the mechanics and the movement. So if I have my feet a lot closer to my butt, my hips are going to go a lot further down. As I go up, my knees are going to go a little more forward over the toes. Nothing bad with that in terms of knees over the toes. But what I like to do is have my feet in line with my knees or slightly in front. So then as I go down, I get a nice range of motion in this dip. Then as I squeeze my butt, I'm almost creating a tabletop position, 90-degree angle with my thighs and my shins. So again, I'll go down, think of hinging at the hip, squeeze the butt, lift, hold for a second, and then come back down. Once I've completed my reps, then I'll bring my elbows back on the bench, lower myself to the floor, and then roll myself out. Personally, when I do weighted glute bridges or hip thrusts from a bench, I do not go as heavy because there is a possibility of this going back. Again, if you're using a stable bench, that's most likely not going to happen. But for myself and safety, I just like to go heavier when I'm on the floor. If I'm going to go off the bench, I will go maybe a little lighter. And again, a little bit lighter, a little bit heavier is all relative to the individual. Okay, so we're almost wrapped up. That's the glute bridge with the barbell off of the bench and off the floor. Again, if you guys want a coach or are looking for a coach, I have my app that you can check out. I have not only a strength and tone program, but I also have a home fit program coming out, which is all body weight. It'll take less than 10 to 15 minutes. I also have a 30-day and a 28-day challenge that requires no equipment. All right, next one Dumbbell. I like the dumbbell if you're looking to learn this movement quickly, and you're looking to also get integrated into this movement if you do not have a dumbbell or a barbell or plates, etc. If you're at a traditional gym and you have a piece of machine that you can actually get in, they'll make it nice and easy. But if not, the dumbbell can come in nice and easily. So setup position is going to still stay the same. Feet are between my hips and shoulders. If I'm laying on the ground, notice that I'm creating that little triangular A. When I place my dumbbell on top of my hips, I'll get it up. I'll bring my dumbbell to where my hip crease is on each side. So hopefully you guys can kind of see this in contrast with the black on the dumbbell and the blue with my pants. So again, I'm on my hip crease. From here, I have my hands on the dumbbell, either on side or in front of. I'll squeeze my butt, lift my hips, hold for a second, and then come back down. If you want to include a little bit more of the hamstrings, take a smaller step out away from your butt cheeks, and that's going to allow you to incorporate a little more of those hamstrings. You also want to make sure that your knees are staying parallel to one another. It's going to be kind of hard to show this angle, but if my knees are here, I want to make sure they're not going in or out as I lift my hips up. So if you're learning the glute bridge or hip thrust and you don't have much equipment, you don't have a bench, a barbell or plates, you can always use a dumbbell as a version. You could also use a kettlebell a little bit more on the bladder area because it's round versus the weight being distributed on each side. But if you guys like this video, please leave a comment below. Let me know what movements you would like to see more of. Feel free to share if you find this beneficial. If there's anything specific question-wise you have for myself, my app, my coaching, whatever it might be, feel free to share. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and for your support. I will see you guys tomorrow for tomorrow's live session. Stay tuned and have a great day.